Hi, this is Joseph.
This is David, and welcome to The Definition.
A podcast where we take a topic and explore various perspectives.
Because not everything is black and white.
Exploring the depths beyond the definition, hearing opinions from the street, as well as offer our own 2 cents. Ultimately, our goal is to spark your intrigue.
Be rest assured, it's always going to be real, relatable, and relaxed. You can also expect us to spice up each episode with a hint of our personal experiences.
Let's get started.
I'm happy with that.
Welcome back to another episode. This week we're talking about joint holidays. So is our joint holidays a thing that we want to do? Is it a thing we want to avoid? Some people love them, some people hate them. It's an interesting one, Joseph. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it.
Yes, it is. Welcome, audience. Again, we're glad you could join us. Today's topic is born out of the fact that right now families are putting dates in their calendars, booking up those summer holidays on those websites. And then the thought comes, hey, why don't we go with Dave and his family? Why don't we go with Grandma or Uncle Jerry and his kids? And there comes that trepidation. Why go alone? Why not go with family? And today we want to explore it from the different perspective. We've got audience opinion, but we also like to hear from you, David. Have you ever been on a family holiday?
Yeah, so I've done all sorts of holidays. And it's holidays are a funny thing to define because everybody has a very different idea of what a holiday is. Some people just want to be lying on a beach, sweating with the sun baking them. For other people, that's super boring. Other people love really active holidays.
Adventurous,
And it's like sometimes even within a family structure, you might have a different opinion with your wife or your kids as to what you expect from your holiday. And then if you bring in another family unit or your extended family, all of a sudden those opinions, you know how opinions get annoying when there's too many of them?
Yes.
And then imagine the time you took 2 weeks off work. You're hardworking. You want to really utilize those 2 weeks, and all of a sudden you got some uncle Teddy who's telling you how you should spend your time. And you're like, I don't want Uncle Teddy telling me how to spend my time. Like me and my family, we often do quite active holidays, like road trip holidays. So you're constantly deciding, do we stop for food now? Do we, and the idea of more people picking, do we do chicken? Do we do steak? Do we do, it's like I would find that really tricky. What about you?
There are opinions around it. So I've seen group holidays where one family has been there before. And they are like the forerunners that is co-opting everyone else. Hey, let's all go to Costa Rica together. We were there 3 years ago. In that kind of situation, I do understand if that family is taking the lead to say, look, trust me, we've done the water rafting 2 years ago. Let's do water rafting together. I'm easy with that. I think where the chaos is where you have people with different personalities, different phobias, who have a phobia for height or phobia for water. My son is allergic to this. I close my eyes and I could just see the chaos in it.
Totally. And look, even like down to finances, right? There's some people have bigger budgets than other people for holidays. So I kind of generally spend more. I don't budget on holiday that much. I'm not that tight. No, I am tight. I don't want to lie about what. In a holiday context, I loosen my grip on finance. Because I kind of go like, look, it's holidays. Some people are really stringent and stick to their budgets. So they say we can't spend more than X amount. So even just food choice, like that restaurant's too expensive for one family, it's not posh enough for another. And what do? You kind of do split. That's a weird vibe to eat separately and stuff, isn't it?
And it is uncomfortable when you're out in the family, you're all going for lunch and you're all trying to pick apart the €5 here, the €2 here. It's quite uncomfortable. That being said, on the other hand, I have experienced more family holidays with my family. And I must confess, there are some activities that I do with the family and I say to myself, oh, I wish my boys were here. No, I wish Jerry or Femi or Mike, those guys who have the same adrenaline level with me, are here. Flip, it's the same way if we go on a holiday and my wife wants to go to a spa, I could care less. And I could imagine that she could say, oh, I wish my girls were here if Mary's family was here. This is something Mary and I could have done. So I do see the pros that within the holiday itself, there are certain activities that I enjoyed with people outside of your family. For example,
Yeah, I'm really sad that my name didn't mention.
well,
there,
Dave,
Joseph.
you're just back from a solo trip, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what you could have invited me over for, but you didn't.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know how to snowboard. I know, but hey, an invite would have been good. But then, what do you think about the value it brings into the quality of a holiday based on those you go with?
Yeah, like so, and again, depending on whether you have kids or not, right? This is very different. But like whenever we holidayed with family who have kids who really like each other, it's like they just spend all day together, the kids.
Yes.
And they love it. They love that, and it's so good for them. And then as parents, we from both sides we get headspace that we actually wouldn't have if we weren't together on that. So I do see there's definitely pros in this as well. I'm not just on the camp of like never ever. I think it really, for me, it comes down to what type of holiday you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, whenever we do like an all-inclusive holiday, it's great to bring my mom along with me.
Yeah.
And she loves it and everything, food's taken care of and stuff. If it's a road trip, I ain't doing 5,000 kilometers around Europe with my poor mother.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on what type of holiday you enjoy. And then is that conducive to fit other people effectively or not?
And you make a good point. I do realize that the type of holiday you want to go on pretty much determines the choice of whether you want to go alone or with some family. Just as you said, some people's holidays lay by the beach and just chill.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not me. My holiday is activity. I want to go bungee jumping, swim, and I think that one element in a holiday, it should also have a learning experience. So if we're going somewhere, half a day for us to go learn about the local area. Because I've seen people, with all due respect, I'm not training anyone on the bus. You go to Spain, you go to Malaga. You
Straight
go
to the Irish pub.
Straight to the pub. You have no time spent in understanding the culture, the history of things, or how it even links back to your home country. I'm on the other spectrum where I'm trying to find out what is the new learning I'm taking home at the end of the holiday.
Yeah.
It might be right for some kind of families, but might not be right for others.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. We're on holidays together. My family, your family.
Yes.
You want to go and explore some cultural elements, and I'm like, no, Joseph, that's the most boring thing. It's too hot.
Yeah.
How do you respond to me in that situation?
Absolutely fine. I think if on group holidays, there's no expectation that we must do everything together like conjugal twins. There must still be the independence for people to go experience and do their own thing. And I think in those things, you have those free days to roam around and do your own things. However, there should be some baseline. We should either have dinner together once every other day. You choose where we go for breakfast. There should be commonality, but not all through the holidays.
Yeah.
I also do think the older we get, there are things our kids want to do that we cannot do with them. If you've got a child who wants to get on a ride where you are over the age limit, that child probably wants to do it with other kids. And there's safety in numbers if you have other families going with you. Now, the story about couples holiday alone, it's a whole different ball game, but let's not go there.
All right. We'll keep things PG.
Well, we'll keep things PG. Tell me, what opinions do we have from out on the road?
Yeah, let's have a listen. Here's one.
As if it's not enough to have your own kids screaming on your holiday, you invite others to come, and all of a sudden, you have other people's kids screaming too. What's worse is you can't even tell them off.
Yeah, okay. So, this idea of like, and that brings an interesting point in. It brings us this point that different family structures have different rules.
Yes.
So you might be okay with your kids jumping all over the sofas and climbing on the tables, and I might not allow that.
Yeah.
I can't really shout at your kids to stop doing that because, like, who's to say that my rules rule here?
Yeah.
So maybe it's good if you have your own accommodation beside each other.
Yeah.
And you kind of meet for dinners or meet for breakfast, but you also have
your own space.
Your own
yourself.
space.
Yeah. You know what they say, when you go for group holidays, you have to pack an extra bag of patience. It's that is really critical. One of the things I would say though is it will be a different ball game if you're going on holiday with a family that is a strange family to you. Typically, it's a family that you've either spent time with, done a sleepover with, or you guys have spent time together, so they will know, oh, Uncle David doesn't like this. in and around, and you expect that the parents would have read the riot act to the kids. Hey kids, we're going with other families, you need to be careful about this. But I can empathize with the caller. There are some things, because it's not your kid, you just have to hold your teeth real close, not to say the wrong words or not to come across as the grumpy old uncle.
Or after the kids go to bed, just kind of sit down and go, yeah, like, do you actually parent? Do you actually discipline your children, or do you just let them rule the roost?
I know on holidays, right, a different dynamics plays out when it's not your home, when you're kind of relaxed, and you would tend to see the other side of the other families. Before we jump in next, I like to give my own opinion around group holidays. Now, this isn't really holidays, but I've got a group of Nigerian families where we go camping together in Ireland, and it's called Black and Camping. And the reason we started it was cost efficient, easiest way to see Ireland, and it gave the kids a bit of connection to the earth. No internet, no sleeping on a nice bed. We're all in a tarpaulin tent. And so we started it just around COVID, but now we've got about 6 families together. What I would tell you is the difference. There's an assurance in our numbers. There's a bit of safety in numbers when we arrive on a job, on a campsite as 6 families.
Right.
For that reason, I would very much lean towards group holidays, but this is a set of families we already know together. We do Christmas, we do Easter together, the kids know themselves. The other advantage then is the moms can look after everyone's kids, knowing their dietary requirement, know what they want to eat, while the other parents can have time away. So that safety in numbers for me is a big plus. Of course, there's also the financial benefit if we're chipping money together to get a big house where everyone is having their own room. So my advocacy for group holidays is, with the right group of people, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Economically also, it makes sense. The challenging part is the decision making, and I think you might have an opinion around decision making. Tell me.
Yeah. Well, actually, just before I get into that, what you were just saying there, like I do think, as much as me and my wife like spending time together, there's definitely moments where we've holidays as a family, the kids are in bed, and we're just sitting there killing 2 hours before we go to bed. And it's not that we don't enjoy each other's company, but there's definitely moments at which we would have probably liked to be sitting around with somebody else outside of us.
Yes.
And so what you're talking about there is a lovely opportunity to experience holiday life as a village, as a tribe, as a group, as a people.
As a people, yes.
And I think there's merit in that.
Yep.
Sorry, your question to me was about decision making.
Yes.
Yeah, so like, say for example, we hit a town and we're picking a place to eat. And it's just the 4 of us. And it's super hard in a new place where you don't know it to end up figuring out the right place to eat that would suit everybody. And so what I usually do is, when I get tired of decision making, I just kind of hand it over to my wife. And I'm like, do you know what?
decide,
you pick. I'm happy with whatever. And then it's no longer on me.
Yeah.
And I can just wander the city, relax, and just let them fight it out. And just go with whatever.
Yeah.
So that's how I deal with not being fatigued from decision making in holidays.
Yeah.
But throw another family on top of that, and I'm like, it's not even fun anymore. It's not even a holiday.
Yeah, it's
because
tedious.
it's tedious. You're in the city. It's hot. All the kids are complaining. You're like, where do we eat? Everybody's got opinions. Somebody wants to go somewhere super cheap. Someone wants to go somewhere where it's local food. Other people want to just do nuggets and chips. And it's like that takes all the fun out of it for me personally.
But does it help though, where I've seen cases where everything is pre-planned? Day 1 decisions are made by Dave and his family. Day 2 is made by Joe and his family. Day 3 is free reign, and day 4 is made by some other family. Maybe. I
think the key is what we touched on earlier. It's like, if there's enough independence and space to kind of go like, hey, do you know what? So you guys want to spend the day on the beach tomorrow? We want to go see the city. Let's split up. Let's meet in the evening. So as long as there's this flexibility to disconnect, that you're not on each other's backs the whole time, then I think it actually potentially works quite well. So we have some textures in as well, Joseph, bringing in some interesting dynamic and example of what went disastrously wrong. Never again will I do a holiday with friends or family. Missed my flight home as a result, and my best friend's kids are monsters. That texture is anonymous. I think they should stay anonymous. Another one, though, I always find holidaying with friends to be a good way of keeping my family polite and civil. That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Like a control mechanism, right?
Yeah. Kind of police the levels of kindness that are sustained over the holiday.
Is the theory like you behave better when you're around people who hold you accountable? Yeah.
Right.
Look, I think anyone who decides to go on a group holiday has to be ready to accommodate disasters, missing flights, missing breakfast. It's part of the game. And I think the minute it's outside of your control, another family wakes up differently, behaves differently in the morning, just be ready for it. If that's the path you want to go. The world is changing, right? We have to be able to accommodate these uncertainties. Missing the flight is a big thing, but hey, it is part of going on a group holiday anyway.
If we miss the flight because of the other people, who's paying for the new bookings? Who's paying for the new flights? We should get this down, Joseph, because I'm secretly trying to decide, am I going to holiday with you and your family or not?
We try to be on time. I've got a phobia for missing flights. I'm one of those that we try to arrive as early as possible. But I accommodate the fact that somebody will be missing. Somebody will definitely be missing on the trip, will be late for the bus. It just has to be a hard set rule. If you're not there on time, sorry, we leave and we let you go. One of the things I wanted to go back to though is it's a different experience if everyone in a group holiday is at that place for the first time.
Right.
And it's a different experience if a family has been there before. Mm-hmm. Because I think if we are all experiencing Lanzarote for the first time, we are all novice to Lanzarote. I think the experience is different. If one family has been there the year before, they tend to be the forerunner that almost dictates everything we do. And then I don't know if that's really a pure experience.
Yeah.
So what is the preference? Do you want to go to a location where nobody has been there before in that group, or do you want to go in the safety of someone has been there before you?
That, I think, raises the most important point in this conversation, which is there's two types of people.
Yeah.
There's the person who just wants to go to the same place over and over again because it's familiar.
Yes.
They don't want to experience new things. They just want it to be easy and least resisting.
Yeah.
And then there's the opposite person who wants to constantly explore new things.
Yes.
Why waste going back to the same place I've already been?
Yeah.
I want to see a new city.
Yeah.
I want to see a new place.
Yeah.
And I think the joint holiday concept will or won't work depending on what type of people you are.
Absolutely.
Are you the same place every time?
Yeah, they know
or
me
are
well.
you the explore a new zone and a new?
Yeah.
I think if the two families or the two groups are in the same category,
Yes.
then I think that's probably a good framework for it working well.
So that helps in the cadence of, are we going to the same location or different location? On top of that, I would also say, upon arrival, it also depends on the level of adventure of each of the family, the spectrum of adventure. So we might be going back to Lanzarote, but we're looking for something new in Lanzarote. That's okay.
Yeah.
But there's also guys who go to Lanzarote and say, I have no time for adventure, just want to sit by the beach. And if that dynamics is wrong, then that creates that hell on earth experience for people.
Yeah.
I remember when I was dating my wife and traveled a bit around Africa before I met her. And we're always talking about countries we might want to go to as a holiday. And she said there was one country she would never go to.
Tell me.
And that country is Kenya.
Okay.
And years later, I found out it was because I spent about a year in Kenya on the first job. And when I met my wife, I spoke so passionately about Kenya, about all the nooks and crannies of every part of the country I've been to. And she said that's the reason why she would never go to Kenya with me.
Okay.
Because I've been there already before.
Yeah.
Now, if I play that back in my head on a family trip, I can imagine the frustration going with a family to a place that is, let's call it their watering hole that they always have been going into. Then you are caged to experience it in the eyes of the people who have been there before.
Right.
But it's safer.
Right.
So my question to you is, who are you? Are you the go back to the same place with a group of people, or are you open to exploring new locations with people?
No, I think me and my wife and my kids were definitely the people who want to explore new places, new experiences, new places. So we why would I waste 2 weeks of my life going back to the same place?
Same place, yes.
That's my take on it. Now, in saying that, there is something super convenient about this kind of all-inclusive holiday where you don't have to worry about breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You don't need to clean dishes. You don't need to go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
And figure out where the stuff is because it's not your local supermarket.
Yeah.
So it depends, I think, whether you're overworked and you're tired and you need a break, or whether you want stimulation because your life is not stimulating enough in its 9 to 5. So it really depends. I think it does depend. I mean, I think as well, coming back to like different family philosophies, like we holidayed once with a family where they don't let their kids watch TV. Oh. And that was tricky because we sometimes just wanted to let our kids watch TV because we wanted an hour of peace and quiet.
Yes.
And it's like, how do you navigate that?
Yeah.
And like, so coming back to you were talking about this tribe going on holidays.
Yes.
Is there different kind of rules in each house, and how does that work then when they differ?
So to be fair, first, it's all Nigerian families. We've known ourselves for the last couple of years. Some of them we known ourselves even before arriving in Ireland. So we kind of are within a narrow spectrum of values as a family and the rest. But the other element is because we started camping, we in this case became the forerunners. Oh, this is how camping is done. Okay. You should let the kids roam freely. I would say that the biggest thing for us when we started doing it as a group was the challenge in when the kids had their meals.
Right.
And different families had their meals at different times of the day. And so it was, we had ones where kids were up at 7 a.m. asking for breakfast. And my kids were like, no, not in camp, man. You need to allow us sleep till late. Kids don't have their bath for a day or two. The flexibility and understanding that is holiday camping, not our regular life.
Right.
But beyond that, we really didn't have a huge difference in how we run our families. We're all Nigerian families. We ate the same thing, maybe few with regards to palate level of taste, but not really that wide off. And I would imagine if my family goes with your family, goes with another family that we didn't know from the past, it could pose certain challenges. What time do they eat dinner? What time do they go to bed? What can they or not do? I tell you one though, where do they play?
Yeah,
is a big topic.
Yeah,
can they play in your apartment and mess it up, and then the next day come and play in my apartment?
Can we do that? They stay in your place, mess up the whole
time. So those are the kind of dynamics we blow. But I would say this: I do love group holidays.
Okay.
But group holidays that give us the chance to also be alone if we need to.
Right.
What's your talk?
Hey, do you know what's actually a really nice thing? Imagine a scenario where families of our size, 2 kids, 2 adults, holiday together. There's also something that can happen which couldn't happen without co-holidaying, which is that we go, hey, Tuesday night, you and Helen go out for dinner.
Yeah,
we look after the kids.
Yes.
Flip it around the next night.
Yes.
You guys release us to go out.
Yes.
So we're there to help each other as well.
Yes.
Do something that we couldn't have done without being
group
together.
Holidays, and if you had gone alone as a family, that would have been hard to do. Leave the kids alone and go. Right. Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, it does make sense. But I also sometimes love the fact that we could do our own thing as the 4 of us in a family alone, and not feel like we're tethered to some other family to do things with them. Brings me to the next point. On group holidays, you tend to hear more of a family on things you never knew about. What is your family should be in your family. It could be your son or your daughter making a certain utterance, or even over a fire, over dinner. You tend to hear more than you need to know.
Right.
And I don't know how that sits comfortably with you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a plot twist. So you're on holidays with someone and you end up learning about something that they've been wanting to keep within the family, somewhat within the family, and all of a sudden they're exposed.
Yes.
And
unconsciously.
Yeah, and you all of a sudden know too much.
Yeah.
Or even worse, flip it the other way. They learn something where they start to become very judgmental towards you.
About your family, yeah.
And about how you operate.
I practical example, right? In a group, when you're spending 4 or 5 days, you could sense a vibe amongst the couple or their kids. And that vibe could be something you wouldn't know if you were on a day visit to their home.
Right.
Let me give a practical example. I'm a very touchy kind of guy, right? With my wife, I might be touchy to an uncomfortable level for a couple that is not used to that.
I see that, and we haven't even gone on holidays together.
Oh, David.
No, I'm joking. No, I'm genuinely joking. You're a gentleman.
Well, look, but it's the dynamics that maybe some other family might not be comfortable with their kids seeing my wife and I being touchy. Again,
Sure.
those things only...
And for example, we could be having marital problems. We might be very hands off.
Absolutely.
And you guys all of a sudden see that behind closed doors, there's no affection.
Yes, yes.
And so you start to talk to your friends saying, hey, they look like a dream couple, but actually...
after 4 nights, yes. Or the walls are thin and they're all smiles.
Oh, we said we keep it PG, Joseph. We said we keep it PG.
No, but it could be arguments. It could be things that you probably wouldn't learn about the family. It could also even just be the simple dynamics between power play between a man and his wife.
Yes.
And I have seen it where the appearance is different.
Yeah.
Once couples are in the mix. You know those things where 3 couples are sitting together and you could almost tell who is dominating over who and who is not being polite. My worry or my concern is once you go on group holidays, be ready.
Yeah.
Be ready that the notion of the perception anyone has about your family might fall apart because of something else that they see.
So would that affect, like, for example, would that affect you going on holidays with your boss and his family, or vice versa?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
So that gets dangerous.
I probably wouldn't go on holiday with my pastor also, so I don't know. So just so he doesn't question my prayer life if I'm only praying 5 minutes a night.
Right. And equally, if you go on holidays with your pastor and you see that he doesn't get up at 6 a.m. and spend 2 hours praying, you're like, how dare he call himself a spiritual leader?
How is he leading me? Again, I think the essence of it is for our audience to know that these are the things that can happen in a group holiday, and no family is perfect.
Right. And not only that, right, but like judgment calls that we make for our lives. We can be so quick to judge when other people live differently to us.
Yes.
So, and I think that changes then our perception of somebody, and it changes our relationship. So if we go on holidays together, it has the potential to damage our friendship.
Absolutely.
But also it has the possibility to bring it closer together.
Well, let me rephrase it. It has the potential to redefine our friendship.
Right.
And let's not say it damages. It might also be for the good. So it's just a redefinition. I might see something that I might pull you apart and say, Dave, how does that work in your house? I like the way I feel that vibe between you and your daughter. Give me a few tips. It could be positive. Or it could be that my wife might see something and say, no, that's not coming to my household.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the lack of respect or the honoring of one another's effort. I think it's a good experience.
Yeah.
I think it's just whoever goes into those group holidays, be ready.
I feel resourced after this chat to pick the right people to go on holidays with, to have the right discussions. And you know what? Actually, this podcast can be a great resource for people who are considering going on holidays together.
Absolutely.
To watch it and
Absolutely.
then let that turn into a conversation with a couple or a group or a family to say, do we want this?
Yes. And if the answer is no, you are still right to go solo. If at the end of all of this, you consider all sides of it and you still think, no, it's best for us to go alone, it's still right. As we say, it's neither black or white. The definition is a spectrum.